Hello dear viewers. Thank you for the support. Kindly don't forget to subscribe and press on the notification bell. And definitely leave a comment. Once they live a young girl in a forest-surrounded land. Her name was Alara. Alara was born into a life of hardship. The daughter of a poor farmer, she grew up in a small village at the edge of the kingdom. When she was just 16, her parents died in a tragic accident, leaving her to fend for herself. Alone and vulnerable, Alara fell into the clutches of a deceitful man who promised to take care of her. Instead, he abandoned her as soon as she became pregnant with their child. Now a single mother at the tender age of 17, Alara found herself shunned by the village. Her once youthful face grew tired and worn from the weight of her burdens, and her clothes, patched and faded, marked her as a woman of poverty. The villagers whispered behind her back, calling her the ugly girl with the illegitimate child. But Alara paid them no mind. Her only concern was her son, Aaron, whom she loved more than anything in the world. Alara worked tirelessly, taking on any job she could find, from cleaning houses to tending livestock. She often went without food so that Aaron could have enough to eat. Despite her struggles, she remained kind and generous, always willing to help others when they were in need. One cold winter's day, Alara set out into the forest to gather firewood. As she trudged through the snow, she came across an elderly woman sitting by the side of the road, shivering and weak. The old woman had lost her way and could not find her way back home. Without hesitation, Alara took off her shawl and wrapped it around the old woman's shoulders. "Come with me," she said, "I'll take you back to the village and make sure you're warm and fed." The old woman smiled weakly and took Alara's hand. Together, they made their way back to Alara's humble cottage. Once there, Alara lit a fire and prepared a simple meal of broth and bread. She offered the old woman the only bed in the house, opting to sleep on the floor with Aaron by her side. The next morning, the old woman thanked Alara for her kindness. "You have a heart of gold, my dear," she said. "In return for your generosity, I wish to give you a gift." Alara was taken aback. "I do not need anything in return," she replied. "It was my duty to help you." The old woman smiled, her eyes twinkling. "Nonetheless, I insist. From this day forward, your true beauty will begin to shine through. But remember, this gift will only last as long as you remain true to your kind and selfless nature." Before Alara could respond, the old woman vanished into thin air, leaving behind only the faint scent of roses. At first, Alara thought the old woman's words were just a kind gesture. But over the next few weeks, she began to notice subtle changes in herself. Her once dull and lifeless hair grew thick and lustrous, her skin became smooth and radiant, and her eyes sparkled with a new brightness. The villagers, who had once ridiculed her, now looked at her with envy and admiration. Alara's newfound beauty attracted the attention of many suitors, but she turned them all away, knowing that they were only interested in her appearance. She continued to live her life as she always had, working hard to care for Aaron and helping others whenever she could. Despite the attention she received, Alara remained humble and grounded. She did not let her beauty change who she was. Her kind heart and gentle spirit only grew stronger, and she became known throughout the village not just for her beauty, but for her unwavering kindness and generosity. Meanwhile, in the neighboring kingdom, a young and wise king named Aldrich was in search of a bride. Unlike many other rulers, Aldrich did not care for wealth or status. He sought a woman who was beautiful in both heart and soul, someone who could stand by his side and help him rule with compassion and justice. Hearing rumors of a beautiful and kind-hearted woman living in a small village at the edge of his kingdom, King Aldrich decided to see for himself. He disguised himself as a common traveler and set out for the village. When he arrived, he asked the villagers about the woman named Alara. They spoke of her beauty, but more importantly, they told him stories of her kindness and strength. Intrigued, Aldrich decided to stay in the village for a few days, pretending to be a traveler in need of shelter. Alara welcomed him into her home without hesitation, offering him food and a place to stay. As the days passed, Aldrich observed how Alara interacted with others. He saw the love she had for her son, the way she treated everyone with respect, and her willingness to help those in need. Aldrich was captivated by Alara's spirit. She was everything he had been searching for and more. One evening, as they sat by the fire, Aldrich revealed his true identity to Alara. She was shocked and overwhelmed, but Aldrich reassured her that it was her heart, not her beauty, that had captured his. King Aldrich asked Alara to return to his kingdom with him and be his queen. At first, Alara hesitated. She worried about leaving her village and the life she had built with Aaron. But Aldrich promised that Aaron would be treated as his own son, and that together they would create a kingdom where kindness and justice reigned. Alara accepted his proposal, and the next morning, they set off for the royal palace. When they arrived, the people of the kingdom welcomed Alara with open arms. She was crowned queen, and Aaron was given the title of prince. Under King Aldrich and Queen Alara's rule, the kingdom flourished. They worked together to help the poor and the needy, and they ruled with fairness and compassion. Alara's story became known far and wide, a tale of how true beauty comes from within and how a kind heart can transform even the most difficult circumstances. Years later, Alara would tell her story to her grandchildren, reminding them that it was not her beauty that won her the heart of a king, but her kindness and resilience. And so, Alara's legacy lived on, a shining example of the power of love, kindness, and inner strength. Many years after Alara had become queen, the old woman who had blessed her returned to the kingdom. This time, she revealed herself as Elysia, a powerful enchantress who had been watching over Alara since the day she was born. She told Alara that her transformation was a test of her character, and that she had passed with flying colors. Elysia then offered Alara a choice. She could keep her physical beauty forever, or she could pass the blessing on to someone else who needed it. Alara chose the latter, and Elysia smiled, knowing that Alara's heart had remained pure. The enchantress left, but not before promising that Alara's legacy would live on in the hearts of those who followed her example. And so, the tale of Queen Alara became a legend, a story passed down through the generations, reminding all who heard it that true beauty comes from within, and that a kind heart is the most valuable treasure of. Thank you for tuning in. Till next time here at Patricia Tale. Goodbye.